What if I told you that the very thing you run to when you feel tired is the same thing that is stealing your energy? What if the snack in your hand, the drink on your table, the comfort food you crave at midnight is silently negotiating with your dreams? You say you are exhausted. You say you don't have the strength to chase your goals. You say life feels heavy. But have you ever asked yourself, what are you feeding your body? And what is it feeding back into your life? Because energy is not magic. It is not luck. It is not something only the motivated people have. Energy is created, and sometimes it is destroyed. And often, we destroy it with our own hands. Today, I want to challenge you not to eat less, not to starve yourself, not to punish your body, but to stop consuming the very things that are quietly draining your power. If you want more energy, stop eating what is stealing it. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world addicted to quick fixes, quick sugar, quick caffeine, quick dopamine, quick comfort. We feel tired, so we grab something sweet. We feel stressed, so we grab something salty. We feel empty, so we grab something processed and packaged. And for a moment, it works. For a moment, you feel alive. But then the crash comes, the guilt comes, the heaviness comes, the brain fog comes, and you sit there wondering why you feel stuck. Your body is not your enemy. It is your partner. It listens to everything you give it. It responds to every choice you make. And when you constantly feed it what weakens it, you cannot expect it to carry you toward greatness. If you want more energy, you must stop eating what weakens your spirit, clouds your mind, and slows your body. And today, I will give you 5 powerful truths that can change not just your diet, but your destiny. Stop feeding yourself excess sugar. It gives a high, then steals your power. Sugar is not just an ingredient, it is an emotion. It is celebration at birthdays, comfort after heartbreak, a reward after a long day, a silent companion when no one understands you. It comes beautifully packaged, smiling at you from shelves, hiding inside drinks, sauces, and even the foods you think are healthy. And every time you feel low, tired, or stressed, it whispers, "I will make you feel better." And for a moment it does. Your brain lights up, your mood lifts. You feel a sudden spark of life rushing through your veins. But that spark is not strength, it is stimulation. It is not real energy, it is borrowed energy. And borrowed energy always sends you a bill later. When you consume excess sugar, your blood sugar rises rapidly, your body releases insulin to control it. Then comes the crash. And that crash is not just physical, it is emotional. You feel drained, irritated, foggy, unmotivated. You lose focus. You question yourself. You crave more sugar to fix the very weakness sugar created. And just like that, you enter a cycle: spike, crash, crave, repeat. This is how sugar steals your power quietly. Not in one dramatic moment, but in small daily drops of fatigue, in slow declines of concentration, in subtle mood swings that make you feel unstable, in energy that comes fast but leaves faster. You think you are tired because life is hard, but sometimes you are tired because your body is fighting battles you started with your plate. And here is the deeper truth: sugar trains your mind to seek comfort instead of resilience. Every time you run to something sweet when you are stressed, you teach yourself that relief must come instantly. You weaken your patience, you weaken your discipline, you weaken your ability to sit with discomfort and grow through it. But real power is not instant. Real power is steady. It is calm. It is sustainable. It does not spike and disappear. It builds slowly, like a sunrise. And when you reduce excess sugar, you begin to experience that steady strength. Your energy stabilizes. Your thoughts become clearer, your mood becomes balanced, you stop riding emotional roller coasters created by what you consume. This is not about completely eliminating joy from your life. It is about eliminating dependency. It is about choosing sweetness in moderation, not as medicine for every emotional wound. It is about understanding that your body deserves nourishment, not manipulation. You say you want more energy to chase your dreams. Then stop feeding yourself the very thing that keeps you tired. Stop negotiating with your cravings. Stop saying just one more. Start saying, I deserve better. Because the strongest people are not those who never crave, they are those who choose long term strength over short term pleasure. And when you learn to control what enters your body, you begin to control what exits your life. Fatigue, fog, instability. If you want powerful energy, build it with stable choices. Let your strength be consistent, not chaotic. Let your power be natural, not artificial. And remember this, the sweetest victory is not in what you taste for a moment, but in the discipline that fuels you for a lifetime. Stop overeating processed comfort foods. They comfort you temporarily, but drain you completely. Processed comfort foods are not just meals. They are emotional blankets. They are the warm hug after a hard day, the distraction after disappointment, the celebration when no one claps for you. They are fast, convenient, flavorful, designed to make you feel good instantly. But what feels good instantly does not always serve you long term. These foods are engineered in laboratories, not grown in nature. They are crafted to trigger cravings, to keep you reaching for more, to make enough feel impossible. The perfect crunch, the perfect saltiness, the perfect sweetness. They are designed for pleasure, not for power. And when you overeat them, something shifts inside you. Your body becomes heavy, your digestion slows, your mind becomes cloudy. You feel sluggish, unmotivated, almost trapped inside your own skin. You tell yourself you are lazy, you tell yourself you lack discipline. But sometimes it is not your willpower that is weak, it is your fuel that is failing you. Your body is not a trash bin for emotions. Yet so often, we treat it like one. We feel stressed, so we eat. We feel lonely, so we eat. We feel rejected, so we eat. We are bored, so we eat. But hunger of the heart cannot be satisfied by food. Emotional emptiness cannot be filled with processed comfort. For a few minutes, yes, the taste distracts you. The chewing occupies you. The flavor stimulates your brain. But once the moment passes, the problem remains. And now you are left not only with the original emotion, but also with heaviness, guilt, and drained energy. Overeating processed foods forces your body to work overtime. It struggles to break down artificial ingredients, excessive oils, refined flours, preservatives. While it is fighting to process what you consumed, it has less energy to repair, restore, and strengthen you. So you wake up tired, you move slower, you think slower, you feel disconnected from your own vitality. And then you say, I don't have energy to chase my dreams. Energy is not only about calories, it is about quality. It is about how your body responds to what you give it. When you nourish yourself with whole, natural, balanced meals, your body responds with clarity, with steadiness, with endurance. But when you overload it with heavily processed comfort foods, it responds with inflammation, fatigue, and brain fog. There's also a deeper discipline here. When you learn to sit with discomfort instead of numbing it with food, you grow stronger emotionally. You start asking yourself hard questions. Why am I stressed? Why am I sad? What do I really need right now? Rest, connection, a conversation, movement, food should be nourishment, not escape. If you want more energy, stop running to what weakens you emotionally and physically. Start choosing what supports you, even when it's not as immediately exciting. Because strength is not built in moments of indulgence, it is built in moments of conscious choice. You deserve food that fuels your ambition, not food that buries it under fatigue. You deserve clarity, not cravings. You deserve lightness, not lethargy. And when you stop overeating what was never meant to strengthen you, you create space for real, lasting energy to rise within you. Stop drinking your energy away. Excess caffeine and sugary drinks are silent thieves. You wake up tired, and the first thing you reach for is caffeine. Not water, not sunlight, not a deep breath. Caffeine. Because somewhere along the way, you were taught that energy comes in a cup, that productivity can be poured, that alertness can be swallowed. And yes, caffeine works for a moment. It stimulates your nervous system. It blocks the signals of fatigue. It makes you feel sharper, faster, more alive. But understand this clearly. It does not create energy. It only masks exhaustion. When you rely excessively on caffeine, you silence your body instead of listening to it. Your body says, I need rest. You respond, here's coffee. Your body says, slow down. You answer with another cup. And slowly you disconnect from your own signals. Energy is not the absence of tiredness. It is the presence of balance. And when you constantly override your natural rhythm with stimulation, you confuse your system. Your sleep becomes lighter. Your anxiety becomes stronger. Your heart beats faster even when you are still. You feel wired, but not powerful. There is a difference. And then there are sugary drinks, sodas, flavored coffees, energy drinks, glowing in colorful cans, promising superhuman performance. They promise speed, they promise focus, they promise stamina. But what they deliver is instability. The sugar rush hits your bloodstream quickly. Your mood lifts. You feel capable. But the crash that follows is brutal. You feel more exhausted than before, more irritable, more distracted. And then the cycle repeats: another can, another bottle, another cup. This is how silent theft works. Not loudly, not dramatically, but consistently. You begin to believe you cannot function without these stimulants. You begin to think your natural state is tired. But maybe you are not naturally exhausted. Maybe you are overstimulated and underrested. Maybe you are dehydrated. Maybe you are emotionally overwhelmed. Maybe you are sleeping too little and scrolling too much. And instead of addressing the root cause, you pour more stimulation on top of depletion. True energy is sustainable. It is calm. It does not shake your hands. It does not make your heart race. It does not disappear after 2 hours. It comes from proper hydration, deep sleep, balanced nutrition, and moments of stillness. Water may not feel exciting. Rest may not feel productive. But both are powerful. When you reduce excessive caffeine and sugary drinks, something remarkable happens. Your body begins to regulate itself again. Your natural sleep improves. Your mood stabilizes. Your mind clears. You stop living in artificial highs and exhausting lows. And perhaps most importantly, you reclaim control. You realize you are not dependent on a substance to show up for your life. You are capable of building real stamina through healthy rhythms. If you want more energy, stop forcing your body to perform beyond its limits with stimulants. Start respecting its need for restoration. Because power is not about how intensely you can push yourself for a few hours. It is about how consistently you can show up every single day. Do not drink what steals your stability. Choose what strengthens your system. Choose what supports your longevity. Choose what allows your energy to rise naturally, steadily, and powerfully from within. Stop eating late at night without awareness. Your body needs recovery, not constant work. All day long, your body works for you. It digests, it thinks, it moves, it repairs, it protects. Even when you are sitting still, it is alive with activity. Your heart beats without asking for applause. Your lungs breathe without demanding recognition. Your brain solves problems, stores memories, regulates emotions. And when night comes, your body does not shut down. It shifts into recovery mode. Night is not just darkness. It is restoration. But what do? We scroll endlessly, we sit under artificial lights, and we snack mindlessly. A bag of chips, leftovers from dinner, something sweet to end the day. And we tell ourselves, I deserve this. We confuse reward with routine. Late night eating, especially heavy or processed food, forces your body to continue working when it is meant to heal. Instead of focusing on cellular repair, hormone balance, and deep recovery, your system is busy digesting. Your sleep becomes lighter. Your rest becomes interrupted. Your morning becomes heavier. And then you wake up exhausted, wondering why 8 hours in bed did not feel like rest. Energy is not only built in action, it is built in recovery. The strongest athletes in the world understand this. Growth does not happen during the workout, it happens during rest. The same is true for your mind and your body. When you eat late without awareness, you often are not physically hungry. You are mentally tired, emotionally restless, bored, avoiding silence, avoiding thoughts you do not want to face. Food becomes a distraction from stillness. But stillness is where clarity lives. Ask yourself honestly, are you hungry or are you uncomfortable with being alone with your thoughts? Are you feeding your body or are you numbing your mind? When you constantly eat late at night, your body's internal clock becomes confused. Your metabolism slows, your digestion struggles, your sleep cycle shifts. Hormones that regulate hunger and fullness become imbalanced. The next day, you crave more sugar, more caffeine, more quick energy because your natural rhythm was disrupted. It becomes a chain reaction. But when you respect your body's need to wind down, something powerful changes. When you allow a few hours between your last meal and sleep, your body enters deep recovery. Your sleep becomes heavier, your mind wakes up clearer, your energy feels clean, not forced. This is not about strict rules. It is about awareness. It is about asking yourself before you eat, what do I truly need right now? Maybe you need water. Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need to close your phone. Maybe you need to journal, to pray, to reflect, to breathe. Your body is not a machine designed for non-stop processing. It is a living system that thrives on rhythm, activity, and rest, nourishment and pause, effort and recovery. If you want more energy, honor the night. Let it be sacred. Let it be quiet. Let your body do what it was designed to do, restore you. Because tomorrow's strength is built in tonight's discipline. And when you stop eating without awareness in the dark, you begin waking up with light inside you. Stop consuming without consciousness, energy follows awareness. The most dangerous habit is not sugar, it is not processed food, it is not caffeine. The most dangerous habit is unconscious consumption. Because when you consume without awareness, you surrender control. You eat without thinking, you drink without questioning, you scroll without stopping, you absorb without filtering. And slowly, quietly, your energy begins to leak in directions you never intended. Energy follows awareness. When you are not aware of what you put into your body, you cannot understand why you feel the way you feel. You say, I am always tired. But you never pause to observe what you are consistently consuming. You say, I lack focus. But you never question what fuels your brain daily. You say, my mood is unstable. But you ignore the patterns that create that instability. Awareness is power, and without it, you are operating on autopilot. Autopilot eating looks like finishing an entire plate while watching a screen and not remembering the taste. It looks like grabbing snacks out of boredom. It looks like drinking something simply because it is there. It looks like eating fast, distracted, disconnected from your own hunger signals. When you eat unconsciously, you disconnect from your body's wisdom. You stop recognizing true hunger. You ignore fullness. You override signals. And over time, you lose trust in yourself. But conscious consumption changes everything. When you slow down and pay attention, you start noticing patterns. You notice which foods make you feel energized and which make you sluggish. You notice how certain drinks affect your sleep. You notice how your mood shifts after certain meals. You begin to understand that your body speaks constantly and you have simply been too distracted to listen. And this awareness does not stop at food. What you consume mentally matters just as much. Endless negative news, toxic conversations, comparisons on social media, all of it drains your emotional energy. You may eat perfectly balanced meals, but if your mind is constantly fed with stress and negativity, your energy will still suffer. Consumption is not only about what enters your mouth, it is about what enters your mind, your heart, your environment. When you become conscious, you start asking powerful questions. Does this nourish me? Does this strengthen me? Does this support the person I want to become? And if the answer is no, you begin to choose differently. This is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about pausing before you consume and deciding instead of reacting. It is about eating slowly, tasting fully, drinking intentionally. It is about protecting your mental space the same way you protect your physical health. When you live with awareness, you stop being controlled by cravings, habits, or external influences. You become the decision maker. You reclaim authority over your body and your mind. If you want more energy, cultivate consciousness. Because awareness eliminates excess. Awareness eliminates waste. Awareness eliminates self-sabotage. Energy is not something you chase. It is something you protect. And when you stop consuming without consciousness, you stop leaking your power. You begin living deliberately. You begin choosing wisely. You begin fueling not just your body, but your purpose. And that is where true, unstoppable energy begins. In the end, if you truly want more energy, stop searching for it in shortcuts and start protecting it in your choices. Your body is not failing you, it is responding to you. Every sugary bite, every processed indulgence, every late night distraction, every unconscious habit is either building your strength or draining it silently. Energy is not a mystery. It is a reflection of discipline, awareness, balance, and respect for the body that carries your dreams every single day. You were not created to live in constant fatigue. You were not designed to survive on artificial highs and emotional crashes. You are meant to feel clear, strong, focused, alive. But that version of you requires responsibility. It requires conscious decisions when cravings whisper. It requires long-term vision when short-term pleasure calls your name. Stop eating what steals your power. Start choosing what sustains it. Because when you protect your energy, you protect your future, and a powerful future begins with powerful habits.